been chasing the horn here. The actual horn circuit is okay. This is the relay here for the horn. I have it out. I don't think that's the relay that's supposed to be in there, but got power going to it. And there should be no power on the actual relay until you turn the key on. Now I have power on one side. This side should only be grounded when you push the horn button on the wheel. See if I can't still 12 volts here. Nothing is happening. And if I bridge those two to ground, if I bridge that to ground, provide power right here. You almost hear the horn beep. Let's see, where's my jumper? You can actually hear the horn. Is that the wrong? Maybe it is. What? Maybe this is not fine. It's supposed to be these two. Our contact. Yep, there we go. So these two are the terminals for the horn. The parallel ones are positive, negative for the actual coil and the solenoid. So the circuit works, but for some reason I've got power here on the relay, but I'm not getting a ground through the wheel, which is probably the clog spring. So I've got 12 volts there, but I don't have a ground here. And I should be able to see a ground by clipping on 12 volts. I have a ground there all the time. That's not normal. That wasn't like that before. That means the horn would be on all the time. Okay. There is a ground short somewhere in this, because I have ground. I didn't have ground a minute ago. Let me turn the key off. Oh, I didn't hit the terminal before, that's why. So I have a permanent ground there. And I have permanent 12 volts, right? No. Key's off. Key on. Horn will be blaring. So why do I have ground all the time to the coil? And we know those two, well, those two are supposed to be the contacts. That one and that one, which is 30 and 87. Which are the outer two on the diagram. And then 85 and 86 are your coil. So if I just set that in there, it's probably going to, the horn's going to go off. The only thing I can think of is that there's something with this alarm connector that I've got to put one of these to ground or something. I've got to look at the the yellow box diagram. I think I'm going to check that first. Maybe we'll check continuity from the, because the alarm would not have a relay in there for the horn itself. It would trigger the relay, main relay on the fuse block for the horn, if there's a circuit there for it. So before I take the steering wheel apart, I'm going to go dig out the diagram for this thing, if I can find it. And those are jumpered. That is the starter interrupt on 1 and, what is it, 9? 1 and 9 have to be jumpered to start the car. Alright, so we're going to figure out what's going on with this. I can't ride around with the horn on all the time. So the diagram shows that the, in this case, the anti-theft alarm, it's not the immobilizer. This is the older 16-pin connector. It only goes to the siren, which I've removed. So there is no horn circuit. So that means there's something wrong either in the contacts and the horn pads, or something with the clock spring, or something from the clock spring down to the relay socket for the horn relay. So gotta pull the airbag out, and then we'll check out the horn buttons, and we'll check the clock spring and the contacts in there and see if maybe some wire's broken or something shorted out. Are you recording? You are. There's 2 torques back here. I don't think that's the right size. I think it's a T30. That's a 27. Maybe it is 30. It's been a while since I've had this apart. Yeah, it is. Man, that's tight. T30. This should pop off. So, alright, now I'm going to plug the test light down there into the ground side of this and see if wiggling these wires make a difference anywhere. Still have ground. I'll take them apart. Okay, so problem might actually be somewhere in the wiring harness, or either that or I have something wrong. Let me see if these horn buttons work. Let me grab my multimeter. We'll connect in here and we'll see if these horn buttons are actually normally open and actually work when you push them. Good. Nothing wrong with them. Not the buttons. Okay, so I need to trace this and see where this goes. This gray connector here goes to the clock spring. Oh, I hope I don't have to take this steering wheel apart. I may have to pull the clock spring out. But let's check continuity between these two terminals and the terminal that I'm testing in the fuse block. And I'm just going to stick a jumper down in there. Wrap this around one lead. Come here. And then, let's check these. There is a short in the harness somewhere. Both sides of that are going to that one pin, and they shouldn't. Which means this flat ribbon cable has a short somewhere. Oh boy. I gotta take housing apart here from the steering wheel. And you know what? I'm probably just gonna pull the steering wheel off. Just to make it easier. So I guess you guys get to watch me pull the steering wheel off the CD model. Fun, fun, fun. Nylock nut. And the washer. Stuff up out of the way so I don't hit the wire. Got it. Ease the wires through the hole one at a time. Come on, get out. There's the gray one, and then the one for the airbag is white. That's a little tricky. Got it. One wheel out. And right behind there is the clock spring. There should be two screws. I don't think those are T30s. I think these are smaller. Let's see. Yeah, they're smaller. Okay, and we see the clock spring is right here. There is, I'm going to bring you guys around on the other side, but there is a gray connector here for the gray and an orange for the SRS, which is the airbag. And there are three screws holding the clock spring in. We'll disconnect the wiring here that goes from the stranded wiring to the ribbon cable, and we'll test the clock spring gray side to make sure that this is actually what's shorted. And then we can test on the other side of the harness over to the there's a red, black, and no, there's a black and yellow that should go ground over to the ground terminal on the solenoid. So Actually, I think there's only these two. That holds the other part of that on. There's usually only two that hold clock spring on. Yeah, it's loose. Okay. Don't want to lose these. They're specific length and machine thread. Now we need to go under here and clip these two. I don't know if I can zoom in down there to see that. Let me see. Right down there. See those two connectors? Should be able to. Just pop those out. I don't think there's a. Grab the bottom one. And then we'll try and use these curved ones to kind of pull them apart. Like that. There we go. Use a little leverage. There we go. Got them apart. And you see the inside of there. It's a coil of wire. They don't make them like that anymore. They don't use ribbon cable. They actually use brass pad and contacts. So I guarantee you this thing's shorted. Let me check on, this is the side we tested, this is the other side. Let's check that for continuity. Actually, you know what? Let's test both pins over to the relay first and see if one of them goes to the relay and one of them does not and goes to ground instead. Let's see, are we still on? We want ohms and continuity. Alright, let's check the yellow. The yellow goes there. How about black? Black does not. Yellow goes there. So we know now that if I plug that relay in, the horn should not go off. But let's go make sure now that the clock spring is disconnected. Let's grab our 12 volts again. Actually, it's already connected over there. I don't know if you can see. See if I can zoom in over there. I'm going to go probe. And see if we have ground over there where that lead is. So I grabbed 12 volt off of back on one of these fuses. There's a little test contact on these ATC fuses. And then we'll just touch it to ground, make sure we got 12 volts. We don't have 12 volts. Key got to be on. Actually, I should be able to grab any of these that are always on and get something. Alright, let's just start the key on. Turn off ACC. So it doesn't go blowing everywhere. I'm grabbing it off this 15 amp right here. Alright, we got 12 volts. So we do not have ground there now. Now, the question is there still 12 volts on the supply side when the key's on? Actually, it shouldn't matter if the key's on or not. It's supposed to be steady 12 volts. So you could hit the horde button anytime. Yep, we got 12 volts. So now, if I plug this relay in, nothing should happen. No horn. But if I short across that gray connector, we should have a horn. We want the gray connector, this one. Let's go into the ground terminal, and then we'll tap the yellow one. Well, we've got contact, but I believe that relay's shot, because it is not sending power to the horn. But it is working. So let's put a different relay in there. Need a fine point, not this huge ball of copper. Boop, there we go. Okay. This is bad. Clutch spring's bad. It is shorted. So I can try and find another one, or we can try and find the short in this gigantic roll of ribbon cable. I don't know. We found it. I think that's it for this video. Gotta see if I can find another clock spring, or what I may end up having to do is cut these and put wire in there. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna figure out where the short is in it, and it could be right there. Looks like that might be broken. That might be shorted right there. See what I can find online.